Hey, what's going on, everyone? I have Thomas here. He's been absolutely crushing it inside of his funding business. So I wanted to bring it on so that he could share his success and really celebrate the overall journey that he's been going through. So, Thomas, it's a pleasure to have you on, my man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Alec. Man, great experience through the whole process.
Awesome. Yeah. So to kind of bring it all the way back, what kind of first got you inside of the like credit and funding space originally?
Yeah, I guess I originally jumped into the credit things kind of on the repair side, just helping, people I knew repair their credit, slowly build their credit back up. I had a buddy that, was introduced to credit repair at a young age, and he got me into, I guess, the credit space, right? He slowly started, just talking to me about it, kind of educating me a little, and I
Hmm.
was like, this is a pretty cool thing, right? Like, not only it's something you can leverage eventually, but it's something that you can help other people, fix and build. So, I dove into that, and I've always been an entrepreneur. So, capital has always been my downfall. I've almost tried any business you can think of, anything on the internet, right? Like I tried it all, but my roadblock was always right. The how fast it could grow.
Hmm.
So I started learning about 0% interest, and I actually funded myself and was able to take one of my businesses, grew it a little quicker, and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. Why not value add and add this to a service? So just started reaching out to people I knew, people in my network. Hey, could I fund you? And from there, it kind of just grew. Now this is going on fourth year of doing in the credit space, and I'm enjoying every second.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's like a big thing that kind of happens for a lot of us is like, I got a need for funding. I'd love to do more, but I'm kind of limited by how much capital I have. If I did have more money, maybe I could put more into the ad spend, more into like growing a team, getting more done. And then you got yourself your own funding. You figured, hey, I could probably help others do this. And you launch your own offer. And now 4 years into it, which is awesome. And
Yeah.
so now I know that you also partnered up with Chris as well. How did you two get together at first?
Yeah, so I knew Chris for a long time.
Hmm.
We played soccer, club soccer together back in the day,
Okay.
and then after high school we parted ways.
Hmm.
We ended up going to college, and then I kept following him on Instagram, and he kept posting things like he's really into systems,
Okay.
and that's kind of an area where I struggle in. I try to make things easier for myself, but at the same time, I much rather be front facing talking to people.
Mhm.
Chris was kind of helping me out just here and there on small things, small tasks. And then one day I just approached him. I was like, "Hey man, like, would you be open to, joining on and kind of teaming up here? And I'll
Mhm.
handle this, you handle that." And from
Yeah.
there we took it.
Yeah. That's where I feel like the best partnerships kind of working as well as like you have like different strengths. And so like you might be like more like the client facing, like working with people, then he might be more the back end, kind of like putting it together. So I think that usually works out super well. And so you've been in the industry for like 4 years and everything, and then you approached us. Like, what was like the main things that were maybe kind of holding you back when you first got started? Maybe with like the systems or the funding or anything like to do with the business overall.
Yeah, I mean systems overall again, I was pretty lost. Chris understood systems, but right, like we had to figure out what was gonna work for us for our business, right? So I've tried almost every CRM you can think of, right? I've tried to customize them, all that, right? I've tried email marketing. I've almost anything and everything I tried, and what attracted me to you guys is you guys kind of had like the roadmap set up. Definitely can make it unique to ourselves, but there was a roadmap, and I think like that's where I always struggled to kind of take all the pieces and go from A to Z without getting mixed up in the middle.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's like there's like so many different softwares, and you might like spend some time like learning the one, but then how does it fit into the whole puzzle? And it takes a lot of time to learn it, test it, tweak it, and put it together. And so like when you first joined on with us, we kind of helped you build out the entire system. Like, how was that experience of like having it built into your own business? Like, did we make it easier for you? Like, how fast was it?
Yeah, I mean, definitely it was definitely fast, right? Before we came to you guys, we're actually already using Go High Level, but not to its full strength, right? It was very simple, right? We get a client onboarded in there, right? We tried automations, but you guys pretty much it was like a copy and paste where we could kind of take what you guys had set up already and make it into our own. So, speed was quick. I think within from onboarding to finish, we were done in less than a week as far as like full setup
Hmm.
in systems. And then from there, right, continuous support from all you guys as far as, we had any questions. Hey, we wanted to make this part of our system unique. It was, quick responses, which enabled us to continue not having to focus on that aspect of the business and focus on more of client acquisition side.
Yeah, so being like stuck inside like the weeds a little bit, just focusing on like actually what matters in the business and seeing results and growth, because like systems are super important. I know you're like really thinking about it before. Like, what was the experience before, kind of like running the business maybe without the systems, and how does it kind of compare to like today? Now that you have like the go high level, the Notion, the back end, and all that.
Yeah, it was a real headache. I was using a lot of Google Drive, so a lot of things were just Excel sheets, which the Google Sheets were great, but at some point, things get lost, right? You're trying to find information a client told you, they're ready for funding, but now I got to figure out, okay, what was their, what banks did they already have relationships with, right? What does the credit report look like? It was kind of just disorganized. This definitely, kind of gave me a peace of mind when, a client's onboarded with us. It's, they're pretty much set up from the time they onboard to the finish, right? We have an exact direction they're going. I know exactly where to find everything along the way for them. They have a question, I can respond in, 5 minutes and not have to take, 30 minutes. Like, all right, let me find where I put this, right?
Find it, yeah, yeah. No, for sure. And I mean, that's great to hear that. Like, before it might have felt like a little bit of a headache, like you said, but now we put the system together, and I know that we even helped you recruit your own team as well. Before it was you and Chris, but now we even have like a credit commando in there. So how's that been also for you with like now having like someone on your team to like support some more elements of your client work and all that?
Man, it's helped me tremendously, right? At first, I've worked with, I guess, VAs in the past, and, I've had good experiences, I've had bad experiences. So, I was really interested in someone that really understood credit,
Hmm.
or had an idea with it because it's definitely helped, right? I'm able to give him tasks that, may have taken me, more time consuming than anything, and he's able to, crank those out really quickly and, no issues. So it's definitely, bought me some time back for sure.
Yeah, because I believe we did like the whole recruitment for you. So we did like the recruitment of like hiring them, making sure they were like the experience that we were looking for. And then we trained them up on our systems, our processes. They went through like a live boot camp with us, and they shadowed us, and then we handed them over. Then obviously there's still going to be some things that like you have your own ways of operating as well, but hopefully that gave you that much more speed to kind of like get them launched up and operating. And I know that thanks to the system and the team member, you guys have like really ramped up like your credit repair side of things as well. Like Jacob was telling me, you guys are handling over or I guess you tell me like tons of clients now for that side, right?
Yeah, so on the credit repair side, we always were on the credit repair side of things, but we
Hmm.
were a lot of like outsourced for fulfillment. Um,
Hmm.
so so for us, right, like when you outsource, you're relying on someone else to
Hmm.
results were never an issue, but when you got clients trying to get updates from you, right, and then you're trying to middleman, right, and now they're processing the processing that we're processing with, we got to ask them, we got to wait for their response. So it's a lot of delay, and it
Hmm.
just became like a little bit of a headache, not knowing, right? Again, like results were never the issue. It was always just, I guess, the system they had in place didn't fit into what I thought was, good quality, customer service. So,
Yeah.
along with Jacob, along with the Credit Commando, we built up a system that we're able to bring the repair in-house now. So, now we're completely able giving clients their own portal access, right? They're able to see real-time updates.
Hmm.
So it's been a good experience for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. No, it feels like it's like a real operation seeing you guys move and everything, which has been great to see. And so I guess thanks to all this as well, like are you guys handling like more clients now? Like you have like a really good path to like really scale this thing up at this point.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of what we had before is we had a credit repair team that we were associated with. Together they're roughly probably doing 50 to 100 clients a month, right? So we were able to bring all of those clients actually in-house to us now and fulfill them ourselves. So, speed of implementation is really important. So now, from onboarding to getting the, first round of disputes out, it's a night and day difference for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that could be something that's really scary too, knowing like I got 5,200 clients, like without systems or team, like that might be something that you probably would have avoided for sure. But now you're bringing it on, like you're excited about it. You got like a clear path, which is great. And then I know like you also were looking to get some help with the funding as well. You're really like really primarily focused on Chase and Amex before. How was the experience of like having access to like the entire community, our vaults, our live data points? Like, has that helped you a little bit with the funding side of things as well?
Yeah, definitely. So it kind of, I wouldn't say opened my eyes. I always knew there was other banks, right? Just the data points alone in themselves really helped. Before, I was really going off of data points that I got from Jack McCall's course, right?
Hmm.
I was using his data points, and man, they helped me out a lot. I just never really, I guess, had the confidence to put them into play, right? So I would always help clients. Chase was always a great bank. It was I call it the heavy hitter, right? If I, optimize the person's credit, right, and they look good on paper, it wasn't too hard to get them a large chunk of change right off the bat, right? So that kind of was really what helped, my clients be satisfied in the whole process. And then Amex was always just like that little topper, right? Like it was something that we threw on top, get a little extra cash, build that initial relationship, and then hopefully down the line go for some more, credit cards or lines of credit, whatever it may be. But with you guys, I've really been able to put together a complete funding plan, right? And present it to the clients and show them like, hey, like just because we got a big limit here at Chase, you got Amex, right? We have five more banks we can target, right? Not just, credit cards, but lines of credit, right? Let's really dive in and get you funded to the, your max potential. If not to use for now, right? Like, opportunities come up all the time, right? I've had clients, they get funded, they tell me they had enough funding, and then 3 months later they're hitting me up because they're like, hey, Thomas, this opportunity came up, I need more funding. But imagine you already had it. You wouldn't even have to go through all that struggle. You would be ready for the game already.
Yeah, no, I mean, so key because like you said, like yeah, maybe some clients they were satisfied up front, but then now they come back like 3, 6, 12 months later. Maybe they want to get more funding because they want to like scale even further, more opportunities. Maybe they even want to refinance some of these 0% cards. That's why we see a lot of repeat buyers in some ways. Like maybe funding isn't like a recurring business, but you do have like repeat opportunities. So like clients can keep coming back. But if you're kind of stuck to maybe 1, 2, 3 banks, you'd kind of be done already. But now hopefully with the whole like vault, we have like so many banks. We track like over 30 live banks. So now we have like tons of options now. So that like even if you got tons of funding here, now we can get some more over there. So no, it's been good to see that. So and now that we got the system in place, you got the funding results in place. Like, would you say like overall, like throughout the program, you had like the support you kind of needed to know like what you should be focusing on, like how to continue seeing progress? Like, did you feel like you were supported the whole time?
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I always apologize because I felt like I was using you guys too much, right? I always had questions, right? There's, every day, Chris and I almost talk every day. And man, if I could show you guys, I have a notebook, but it was just consistent questions like ask Jacob, ask Alec, right? Just to get it dialed in because, when I've been doing it for a while and right, these questions have always been there, but they kind of pushed back to the back of my head because I was only using the resources I have, right? I could look it up. I could go on YouTube, right? Things like that to try to really understand. But I didn't have someone that has been in the trenches, so call it, same thing, right? In the funding space that could kind of bounce ideas off of. So it definitely was a big help there.
Yeah, no, I think that's important too. Like, there's obviously like tons of information online. You can even use ChatGPT nowadays, but being able to like hopefully speak to a team that's actively helping people right now, like doing the practices that we kind of preach, and hopefully just having someone that you can just really resonate with, kind of see those bottlenecks ahead of time and help you move through them as fast as possible. No, I'm glad that's been helpful for you. But now, I mean, now that you got some momentum, you got the systems, you got the team, you got the funding, you got all those credit repair processes put together, like what's your goal now for like 2026 since we're just getting started with the year? Like what are you hoping to accomplish this year? Like what do you see your plans of your business kind of moving forward?
Yeah, so Chris and I have talked about it, right? We've always been a big referral based company,
Hmm.
right? Really relying on referral partners, which is great at the end of the day. But we wanted to become more reliant on ourselves, right? Creating our own client. So our big goal for 2026 is just that, right? Create our own client, whether that's through organic traffic, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it may be. Um, and running ads. I've ran ads here or there, off and on in these
Hmm.
last 4 years, but with you guys really helped me to dial in a game plan of how to execute, not just try
Hmm.
to dump as much money into the ads as possible and then prey on it. More of here's a strategic plan. We'll start here with this type of ad, and we'll continuously grow. So, 2026 definitely creating our own clientele
Hmm.
through organic and paid advertising is definitely a big goal for us.
Yeah, man, 100%. Like once you start to like put that whole thing together too, then you just pour more fuel on the fire, just building more and more momentum and blowing it up. So 100%. But yeah, I guess just to kind of wrap it up too, if someone was considering working with us and joining the Credit Coach Academy program, what would you tell them about it?
And I would say go for it, right? At first, it took me a little bit to dive in, but once I dove in, man, it was worth all of it for sure. I would recommend you guys to anyone in the space all day long.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure with you. I know there's so much more that we're working on and so many more goals that we're moving towards. But yeah, no, it's been an absolute pleasure helping you with the systems, building out your team, creating more funding opportunities, and already building some massive momentum here. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me on the call today, and we'll talk very soon. So thanks,
All right,
man.
Alec. Yeah, of course.